Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joycey Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the Global Burden of Disease report which was recently published by Lancet Planetary Health Journal. Let us understand what are the highlights of the report. The first highlight of the report is that 26% of global premature deaths and disease burden is due to air pollution. So, air pollution accounts for around 1/4 or more than 1/4 of premature deaths as well as disease burden in the global economy. Now, what is premature death? Premature death means death that occur before a person reaches an expected age. And many of these deaths are considered to be preventable. For example, smoking. Smoking increases the risk of cancer, heart disease, stroke, lung disease and many other health disorders. So, if a person was not smoking, he would not have been at the risk of certain diseases like cancer or heart diseases or stroke or lung diseases. So, if such a person dies before he reaches an expected age, it is called premature death. And it is mostly preventable because the absence of a few things would have increased the life expectancy of that person. So, 26% of global premature deaths and disease burden is due to air pollution. That is what the report says. And in case of India accounts for 18% of the global population. And 1/8 of the deaths in India in the year 2017 were due to air pollution. That means 1 out of 8 persons who were dead in India, it was due to diseases that were caused by air pollution. And this contributes to more disease burden than smoking. So the risk of air pollution is even higher than that of the smoking. And the diseases caused by air pollution includes asthma, respiratory diseases, lung cancer, pulmonary diseases, etc. And the highly vulnerable states of the country with regard to air pollution are Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, etc. And the reasons attributing to this vulnerability is industrial factors like the heavy industrialization in the Delhi belt and also the huge number of vehicles on the cities, especially in Delhi, and also stubble burning in Haryana and Punjab. So, 3 reasons: industrial factors, urbanization factors and also agricultural factors. These 3 contributes to the highest vulnerability among the population in Delhi, Haryana and Punjab with regard to air pollution. Now the second highlight of the report was regarding the average life expectancy. What is meant by life expectancy? Life expectancy is a statistical measure of average time an organism is expected to live. In case of human beings, the average time for which a human being is expected to live is what is called life expectancy. And this life expectancy is calculated based on various factors like the year of birth, the current age of the individual, demographic factors, etc. So various factors are taken into account while calculating the average life expectancy of a person. Now, the Global Burden of Disease report highlights that the average life expectancy would have been at least 1.7 years higher if air pollution levels were less than the minimal level causing health loss. So, if the air pollution level were minimum, a person on an average would have got at least 1.7 more years of life. So, in short, we can say that air pollution also causes a loss in the average life expectancy of an individual. Now, the third factor that is highlighted in the report was regarding the average exposure norms. The WHO, that is the World Health Organization, recommended that an average exposure norm of less than 10 micrograms per cubic meter for particulate matter 2.5. So, this is what is recommended by WHO, 10 microgram per cubic meter. Now, if we look at this recommendation by WHO, we will see that no state in India complies with this recommendation. That means in every state, without any exception, all states have a exposure norm of more than 10 micrograms per cubic meter for particulate matter 2.5. So this highlights the fact that the air pollution levels in India is very high. Now, another factor that was highlighted in the report was regarding the National Ambient Air Quality Standards of India. So, National Ambient Air Quality Standards of India is the body that recommends the limit in India. So, according to National Ambient Air Quality Standards of India, it recommends the limit as 40 micrograms per cubic meter. Remember, the recommendation by WHO World Health Organization is 10 micrograms. In India, it is into 4 times. The National Ambient Air Quality Standards recommends us 4 times higher. Still, 77% of Indian population are exposed to more than the recommended limit. So, here we must understand that WHO has given a standard recommendation, that is 10 micrograms per cubic meter. India is not able to comply with it. No state in India is able to comply with it. And the authority in India, that is National Ambient Air Quality Standards of India, recommends the standard emissions as 40 micrograms, which is 4 times higher than the WHO recommendation. Even then, 77% of Indian population are exposed to higher exposures or higher emissions. That means the air quality in India is very low compared to the global average or global standards. Now let us understand what are the methods or solutions that are recommended in this report in order to overcome the challenges. According to the report, the major sources of air pollution in India is one, stubble burning, and the second one is indoor air pollution caused due to the use of solid fuels. Now the report also suggests some methods or measures to overcome these challenges. It has been divided into various categories. First, let us understand the agricultural sector in India. Agriculture in India is a state subject, and therefore the central government must work together with the state governments, especially the states of Punjab and Haryana, where the stubble burning is very high. So, central state coordination in solving this issue is very important, and also measures should be taken to handle the agricultural waste. Improper mechanism to handle the agricultural waste often leads to stubble burning. So, agricultural waste should be properly managed. There must be a mechanism to collect the palm residues, and also new approaches should be established to recover value from the biomass. Another important suggestion regarding stubble burning, which we have learned in a previous lecture, was the use of happy seeder machine. But we have also seen certain challenges with regard to the use of happy seeder machine, and one important challenge was the cost of such machines. The state governments are providing subsidies to the farmers in order to purchase happy seeder machines, but subsidies are not enough because the farmers are not able to afford the purchase of happy seeder machine. So what has to be done? There should be options where the farmers can get happy seeder machines on rent. For that, the state governments must be able to attract private investment, and also cooperatives must be developed which will rent out happy seeder machines to the farmers. Remember that happy seeder machines can be used only for a particular season, that is for the harvesting season. So it has a seasonal utility. And considering the seasonal utility of the happy seeder machines, the farmers cannot afford to invest in such machines which has a seasonal utility. So there must be facilities that will help the farmers to purchase the happy seeder machines on rental basis. Now the second category is the rural population. To handle the rural pollution, there must be higher utilization of the potential of the domestic biogas units, solar cookers, and also improved biomass cook stoves. This will reduce the use of solid fuels for cooking purpose, which accounts mainly for indoor air pollution. So indoor air pollution can be highly controlled if there is a proper utilization of alternatives like biogas, solar energy, biomass, etc. So this must be properly utilized. The potential must be explored to its full advantage. Also on top of that, the government is providing free LPG connections through Ujjwala Yojana. But one limitation of Ujjwala Yojana, which we have discussed in a previous lecture, is that even though LPG connections are given, the utility or usage of LPG connections are not made sure by the government, because the refill charges has to be paid by the consumers. So that is one limitation. So government should also ensure that the LPG connections which are provided through the Ujjwala Yojana, they are properly utilized. This will also help in reducing the indoor air pollution, which accounts for rural pollution to a larger extent. Now, third factor is the urban pollution. The urban pollution levels can be brought into control by the use of cleaner fuels, and also there should be measures that will bring down the traffic densities in cities, especially cities like Delhi. This can be done by promoting more public transport. So, affordable, easily accessible, last mile connectivity through public transport system must be enhanced in cities. This will bring down the traffic densities in urban areas, which will bring down the pollution levels. And also ground level monitoring of pollution levels is necessary in the urban centers. Another solution is to adopt the global best practices. For example, we can learn from cities like Mexico, Beijing, etc. on how they have handled their urban air pollution levels. According to a WHO report, World Health Organization report on air pollution, 14 out of 15 cities with the worst air pollution levels in the world are in India. So this factor stresses to the need that we should adopt international best practices and learn from other examples. Now the fifth point is regarding the focus of the government policies or the schemes. Here one important factor is that high pollution levels does not mean that there is high disease burden. For example, Delhi has high pollution levels, but the number of deaths are comparatively lower than some other places. So, if we look at the statistics, we will learn that the worst affected states are the states of UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, etc. Even though Delhi is the worst affected city or the state in India, the number of deaths are comparatively lower than these states of UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, etc. So, this highlights to the fact that policy attention must be diverted to the worst affected states. More attention should be given to the people living in UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, etc. where the air pollution levels have worstly affected the population. These states also have lower social development. For example, they rely more on solid fuels for cooking. Also, they practice stubble burning. There are no ample public health services in the states. So, considering the social factors, the lower level of social development in these states, government must focus more on these worst affected states as well, rather than giving the attention only to the cities or the most poor air pollution level cities. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries related to your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you. I wish you all a very good day.